I am, give me a minute, you dummy. I should make that a smoother transition one day. Hi all. There's nobody in here. But like I've been saying time and time again, it's a lot easier for me to do these videos streamed than it is to do like have to record it later and then edit it a bit. Mostly because, especially now, I started the new job today, got home pretty late due to traffic, and I have cold Nando's chicken over here I need to eat before I head to bed. So this is going to be like a real quick talk, hour max, and you might see me eat, but that's because I haven't eaten all day. But my tiredness is exceeding my hunger at the moment and my cold chicken, my so cold chicken. But okay, so if you were here with me, there's nobody here, but I mean just in general, if you saw my last live stream video, actually before I do, let me put this out here. Damn, okay, that was, sorry, got a notification. But okay, sorry, distracted. But if you were with me last week, hold on, sorry. So if you were with me last week, I mentioned apprehension of watching this week's episode, mostly because of the writing team on it being what I have coined, or not I have coined, but what the fandom has coined and I've kind of adopted, bucklimming. Now, bucklimming episodes are they have a certain way about them. Something about Supernatural that I like, but I'm also really annoyed about is the fact that they're very comic book like to me, in the sense that each writer of an episode has their own distinct style. Like Robbie Thompson had his own distinct style, which I felt was very comic like or graphic novelish. Bobby Burns has his own, and Davey Perez has his own. Like there's certain quirks, just like with the director, like if maybe Jensen's doing it, or if Richard's doing it, or if, you know, depending on who's doing what, you can feel what their style. And that's the same thing with like bucklimming episodes. They have a certain style, but it's not one that I really care for. Oftentimes, the thing that mainly annoys me with their episodes is the fact that they have really uncomfortable situations of sexual violence. Like, or just really out of place sex. Like I'm one of the people who I'm like, if you're gonna have sex in a story, I feel like it needs to be, well, depending on the story, it needs to be well timed. It needs to be explained pretty well. Cause like if you're, you know, I don't know, because if time is short, or if there's something important that needs to be done right now, I don't think your two characters need to be sleeping with each other at this moment. If we have a deadline, I can understand like under pressure, or maybe it's the end of the world, but oftentimes it's like sex or sexual situations to get intel or to do something where you know that it's not needed. So it's like, well, why are they sleeping with them? What? Like the boys haven't even had, I think the last legit sex scene that I remember seeing was, and it wasn't even a scene, it was like the aftermath, was when Sam got tricked by that woman from the British Men of Letters into thinking that they were in a relationship, and they just slept with each other, and she was trying to get info out of him with like pillow talk, which, to be honest, Sam, if you're that loose during, like, after the fact, like, if you're that sex high that you're just willing to spill out all of your secrets like that, you might want to rein that in, buddy. Like, I love you because you're sensitive, but you might want to pull that in just a bit. But anyway, I'm rambling. So let's talk about this episode, and especially how it ended. So there's some good, I couldn't, that whole rambly bit was to say, I cannot believe that they wrote this episode, and I want to think that part of the reason why it turned out pretty good is because Richard Spade Jr., our very own trickster, was directing this. Because some of this stuff, I was like, there is no fucking way in hell that they wrote this on their own. Either that or they had somebody else look at this and edit it for them, because this is like the second Buck Lemmy episode in this season and last season that I'm like, I'm a bit shook. So these are the things that I like. So one thing that I liked was the opening shot with Dean as, well, Michael Dean, and kind of the experimentation. I've seen a couple people on Twitter kind of go like, well, I don't understand what's going on, and I don't know, like, his intentions need to be clearer. And I'm like, I kind of like this mystery. Like, we haven't gotten a good mystery and supernatural in a while, I feel. Because like, ever since, I want to say season 7, like, all the villains' intentions have been pretty cut and dry. And for me, at least, when I know what the villain is doing and they explain themselves within the first couple of episodes, I often then find holes in what they do later on that I'm like, well, this goes against what you did earlier, or this isn't really helping your plan. It's going way to the wayside with it. So I like the fact that we don't really know this Michael. We don't really know what he's planning, but it seems interesting. And so it also gets the community kind of theorizing, like, what could be going on? What could be happening? Like, what's he doing? Why is he talking to these supernatural creatures? What's happening? Is he trying to make hybrids? Is he trying to make the purest creature? Like, does this Michael not value human life? Although it seems like, I don't know, I thought that regular universe Michael didn't really value human life either, but that's neither here nor there. But I like that aspect that we don't really know what this Michael is doing, and that it's all a bit of a mystery. Another thing that I like is that the scenes between Cass and Jack, and Jack's whole, like, Jack this entire episode. Now, I am biased because Jack is like, I thought I wasn't going to like him last year. I legit thought I wasn't. And then he turned out to be one of my favorite characters so far. So, Jack has a couple of moments in this episode. The first moment is when him and Cass kind of sit down and have a bit of a bonding moment where Cass tries to explain how he felt after he fell to Earth and became a human, and how he had to find a sense of himself, and how he had Sam and Dean to to help him, and that was his family. And while Jack, but see this, okay, so this is a bit of a thing with Buck Lemmy too, is that they often ignore certain canonical things to try to fit what they want, although this one could be argued. So Jack seems a bit despondent with Sam and Dean and Cass just like being his only family. I think he wants a connection with his blood family, because he ends up going to talk to his mother's parents, so his grandparents, this episode. And they don't know that their daughter is dead. The last they heard from her, she was pregnant. And remember, this woman, I forgot her name, but, she was the president's assistant or something like that, and was sleeping with them. And then that's how she got knocked up and had Jack. That whole thing was weird. It was really weird. But, so... I'm sorry, I'm just reminiscing on that now, and I'm like, boy, that was weird. But anyway, so Jack, I think he feels a bit despondent, and I think that's where the second part of what this talk came from with him and Cass was they had Jack mentioned like if the group had found Dean, and they mentioned like, well, yeah, and he's like, well, if it comes down to killing Michael or saving Dean, we got to kill Michael. I have seen what this Michael can do. I have seen the horror that he has inflicted, and Dean's life is not worth the entire world being destroyed. And it's like, wait, are you trying to bring logic into the Winchester lifestyle of like no? And Cass was trying to stop him on that, like, we're just gonna kill Dean. And he's like, what, you don't think that he would not want that? And it's like, oh, you got me there. Touche, motherfucker, touche. Because he's right. Dean is always the one. He did it when he went to go see Amara. He was like, it has to be me, and I'm not gonna make it. Like, he's always saying, I am expendable if it means that, you know, Sam can live or the universe will be all right, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's always the self-sacrificing person. And he's right. Dean would want it that way. And that's the sad part, is that he's right. And another thing that I liked in this episode was, okay, so it was a moment, but it got ruined. So, as mentioned in the last video, Nick is alive. He's not being possessed by Lucifer anymore. It seems like Lucifer has died, but it seems like having been the body of someone so wretched and horrible for that long leaves some of that in you, because Cass detects that maybe Lucifer has had a bit of an impact on probably Nick as a person, and we kind of see it in how he's having these flashbacks of like what Lucifer has done. And there was a moment when he remembered how he got here in the first place, like what happened to his family and what happened to his family and how he said yes. And that was like, it was a really good moment. And I think that had to do with the editing and the directing from Richard, because it was like, you could see it on his face and kind of the anguish, and then all of a sudden he talked, and it just sounded like, oh no, my family's dead, oh no, oh my god, why did I do that, oh no, my family's dead, oh my god. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? It sounded like he was being sarcastic, like a fake cry, which, like, it ruined it for me. Because him and Cass were having a moment between where, like, earlier on, where Cass was having a hard time looking at Nick, because whenever he sees Nick, he just sees Lucifer. And then later on, he redeemed himself later on when he also had this talk with Cass about how, you know, he's no different than Lucifer, because he just uses people as meat suits and body bags and whatnot, and taking over people's life and stuff, because he feels like he could have been looking for the killer of his family while Lucifer was, you know, trying to destroy the world not once but twice in his body. And this is something that surprised me, because it's so rarely brought up by this writing pair, is that we find out that Cass still has regrets about Jimmy Novak and his family and what happened to them. He's like, that in all the thousands of years I've been alive, that is still my biggest regret about him and his family. And it's true. He took that man's body away, and the moment he left, his wife got possessed by a demon, and his daughter was tortured and abused, and then her mother ended up missing, and she died, and Jimmy died, and then Claire ended up being an orphan and a vagabond, and it was just too much. It was too much, and I can understand why he would be upset about that. And as we've seen over the seasons, he's tried to make amends for it. Like, that is the one thing that I'm glad they've kept consistent on, is that Cass is still very regretful over what happened with Jimmy Novak. Let's see. There was a lot of good stuff in this episode that I really liked. Not a lot of... I did like the little moments we got with Sam, Bobby, and Mary. It wasn't really focusing on them. This was more so I feel like the first episode focused more on them and what they were doing with Dean, and this one focused more on like the development with Jack and his relationship with Cass, as well as what Nick is going through with having possibly been even more changed as a person, or maybe his real self coming out after having been influenced by Lucifer, because like mentioned before, he has a bit of him left in him. So it's like it's weird, because then I guess he finds the guy who killed his family, or I think it's been a while, y'all, and like he goes and he actually murders the guy with a hammer, and that's the last shot of the episode. And okay, so here's the big clincher, and I know I'm kind of being all over the place with this, but so Michael Dean sounds like a mouthful of a name. I'm just gonna call him Michael. We all know he's in Dean's body. Michael in this episode I thought was very interesting. So he's doing all of these experiments, it seems, on these supernatural creatures and trying to make alliances with them, which I think is what he did back in the other world. Like, he made alliances with these certain creatures and promised them certain things, and he's like, I need to do that again here. And he, like, it seems almost though like he's experimenting, and he experimented in that other world, although Bobby said he's never seen these before. So I'm wondering what his MO is now in this world. Like, he seems to be on a mission to make like the perfect being, and it's a combination of like all these monsters. I guess this is my theory. So this is my theory, right, about what Michael Dean could be doing. God damn it, that name is so long. This is my theory about what Dean could be doing. Michael could be doing. Fuck, Michael. There, I'm just saying Michael. Damn. So this is my theory about what Michael could be doing. So my theory is that Michael doesn't think that he thinks humans are too damn complicated. They too damn complicated. They lie about what they want. Even, they want to be happy. They want to have world peace, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, that's a crock of shit. And he would rather deal with beings, if he's going to be God, because as we saw last season when Lucifer became God for a hot minute, it was just too much for him to handle with all these different people's wants and needs. So I think he figures that if he has to be God, because he does have that God complex, he'd rather deal with creatures who are very simple. He'd rather deal with simple needs and wants. And what's more simple a need or a want than the one of a monster? All it wants to do is to eat, or to hunt, or to just, whatever it may be. So it's like he's trying to forge an alliance with the vampires or the werewolves. But in the same time, it's almost like he's trying to, in that alliance, he's also trying to create a bit of super soldiers almost, like in case he needs, like he's trying to upgrade them to fit his wants and needs. And it's almost like, I guess the deal that they strike is that, if you promise us this, we'll help you out in the new world. But then he turns around and is like, okay, but I need you all to be in these experiments or what have you. And it's really interesting. That's my theory. And we kind of see him do that in this episode in the beginning, which, oh my god, that scene was both hot, confusing, and disturbing. When he dragged that body and threw it on the pile, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. And then just seeing him line stuff up as the episode goes on, you realize that this dude is really cunning. Michael is really pretty cunning, and he's not one to be played for a fool. That's why I don't entirely believe that Michael Dean Michael just vanished from Dean's body, like at the end of the episode. Dean seems to have returned. I don't think that. I think he's gonna come back. Either that, or he's lying low, or he's playing the long con. We don't really know entirely what this Michael can do. We didn't see a lot of him last season in person. But like I think he's laying in there somewhere. I feel like the rug is gonna be pulled from my feet. Also, I have to say I love the fact that sorry, I'm looking at Twitter's reaction, but I also love the fact that sorry, I'm just distracted. I love the fact that Dean is actually pushing through sometimes with through Michael. Like, I really like that. Oh my god, I can't wait for the next. Sorry, I'm looking on Twitter and everybody seems to really like the episode. Yeah, Dean's the bait, Michael's setting the trap. That's what I think is going on. That's why everybody's like, Michael Dean done lasted 2 episodes. I'm like, no, this Michael is pretty damn smart. And the way that we saw him lay down the trap for Sam and Bobby and Mary to get them all together just to reveal Dean for no reason. Like, there's something else going on, and I really like this new mystery aspect between, like, I really like it. I really like the fact that we get hints and clues as to maybe what Michael is doing, and we can kind of piece it together ourselves, because we haven't had that kind of mystery since Yellow Eyes, at least not to me. Like, in the first few seasons when you were trying to piece together, like, what does Yellow Eyes need these psychic children for? Why was he going after them or feeding them their blood? Like, what's the plan? What's going on? And you were trying to figure it out along with the characters. And so I like that aspect. We haven't had that in a while, and I'm so glad that they're taking it back. Like, I'm looking forward to this season. Like I said, I'm really shocked that Buck Lemmy wrote this episode, because it was pretty good. I want to think that it's because it's Richard Speight Jr. directing, that's why this is the way it is. So sorry, my nose starting to run. It's cold in here, you guys. I will say a lot of people aren't loving the Nick Lucifer storyline, but that's because y'all, everybody's tired of Lucifer. I'm tired of Lucifer. We all tired of Lucifer. Like, I barely wanted to talk about him, but oh shit, okay. Here's an update. Kim Rhodes on Twitter says, yep, Jody's in next week's Supernatural and has one of my all-time favorite moments with Sam. Don't blink or you'll miss it. What is it? I'm excited now. But I liked this episode. I really did. I was not expecting to like it, but I did like it. I liked the slower pace. And yeah, I do believe that Michael is setting up a trap for the gang with sorry, I'm distracted again. I tell you, when Twitter goes in, they go in on something. Yeah, because I follow Supernatural. Trends for you. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna end this soon because I'm getting distracted now by everything. But No, don't have Alexander join in Riverdale for an episode. Riverdale is, I don't know how to feel about Riverdale. Sorry, I'm just so distracted. I had to stop. But when Twitter goes in, they start going in, and I really love their opinion. But I have to eat, and I have to go to bed. So I can get up at 5 a.m. to go to the new job. But I like it. Sorry, I'm distracted. All right, let me get off of here. Damn, I need to eat and then I need to go to bed. But actually, this episode kind of hyped me up. That's what I love about this show, and what I love about like. But like, that's what I just love about this show sometimes, or about any show that I watch on any platform, is that if it hypes me up, it gets me excited, it makes me think, it makes me just kind of like want to see what's happening next. Not every episode has to be action packed, not every episode needs to have a grand fight, although I'm loving so far the 2 badass Sam fight scenes we've been getting. I forgot to mention that too. Badass Sam fights, I am here for forever. But like, I want to be excited over an episode. It, like, subtle things excite me with shows like this. Like, the mystery aspect so far has gotten me. Like, Michael, like, planting all these, like, seeds in the ground, which I know are going to sprout into, like, massive issues and trees for the gang later on. You know, Sam dealing with his own issues on trying to be a leader. You know, Bobby and his adjustments, Jack and his adjustments, along with his bonding with Cass. Like, all of that makes me excited to see where we go from here. And like I mentioned, I think in the last episode of this, whatever I'm doing, I thought season 12 was, I thought it was crap. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought it was garbage, and I wasn't particularly fond of season 11, but season 12 I thought was absolute garbage. And I was gonna spite watch the premiere of season 13 because I'm like, there is no way that they can make any sense out of this incomparable mess. And then I saw the first episode of season 13 and I was like, that was actually really good. And I was mad about it. I remember messaging my friend, like, I'm mad at how good this episode turned out, considering how I felt about last season. And then season 13 actually ended up being one of my favorite seasons. And so far, season 14 is doing that same thing, where it's surprising me with where it's going, especially with the whole Michael Dean revelation. And like I said, I don't think Michael is gone completely from Dean. I think this is a setup. It smells like a setup and it looks like a setup, and we already seen how he operates in a setup. So yeah, lovely people. Also, real quick, I just want to do this. I'm not sponsored. If anybody does watch this live stream, so I have a wax warmer that I had never used. I got it in a sorority grab bag at a meeting, and I'm like, I don't use this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, if I do use it, I want to use it for something nice. So at one of the supernatural conventions in Chicago, there was this place called Nerdtastic Scents, although I think, hold on, they changed the name to 42 Nerdtastic Place. And you can find them, I know that they're mostly in Illinois con, so like I saw them at C2E2. I'm pretty sure they might have been at Wizard World. I'm not sure. Definitely the Supernatural Chicago conventions. But this I got from them. This one's old. This is an old one. But Dean's Baby, which smells like cedar leather, Old Spice, and vanilla scent, makes my room smell so warm and cozy. Like, it is amazing. I fucking love it. Go to 42nerdtasticplace.com, and I think she might still have it. I'm not quite sure. I hope she does. I don't think she does anymore, which is sad because Dean's Baby is amazing. I have to go look myself and get some more. But I did get these two at the last con. So this one's Bitch, which is whiskey and cherry pie. And then I got So Get This, which is peach, I can't pronounce this spice, but spices and vanilla. I can't pronounce that other one. I don't know if you can see it, but let me see. Can you see it? But these are just really good. I just wanted to let you all know because now that it's getting cold again, I put out the wax warmer and I just let it heat up my room, and also just the comforting scent, the smell. It's beautiful and I love it. So yeah, there we go. So I guess in the end, what did you guys think of tonight's episode? Do you like where the season is going so far? As a reminder, we only have 20 episodes this season. So every episode counts, which means that we're already down to like 18 as of tonight. So let me know what you guys think about the episode, where you think it's going, what do you think about the plot, all that good stuff. And what was your favorite part tonight? Yeah, let me know that. Alright, so thank you guys so much. I will see you all later, and yeah, bye.